Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Walters, and I have a very special quick fit tip for you today. It's actually more like a treat. I have a special guest with me, Natalie Ostegard. She has over 30 years experience in the fitness industry. She is certified in many areas of fitness, and today one of her certification is going to be about the willpower method. Now, this quick fit tip is more like a treat because it's only a 1 to 2 minute self-massage for each of your feet, done in a very special way. She will talk about all the health benefits from doing this each day or before your workout. So kick off your shoes and socks and please join us. This is something you don't want to miss. I want to welcome Natalie. I'm so excited she's here to share her expertise in Solutions Fitness. She is the owner of Solutions Fitness at the studio, and I want to share what she says on her brochure because I think it is so phenomenal. She teaches with this philosophy: accept our limits and go beyond them with a go beyond them attitude while learning to move with integrity. I think that's beautiful. I'm going to say it again. Accept our limits and go beyond them attitude while learning to move with integrity. So welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to you because you do such a beautiful job. And I invite you to kick off your shoes because we are going to do a special treat with our feet that Natalie's going to teach us.
Great. So based on the willpower method, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I know it took us some time to get together, but we made it done. And we both had pedicures for the event.
Our feet are pretty.
That is one of the benefits to doing this is we take care of our feet.
Yes.
So you only get 2 feet. As far as I know, they have not done a foot transplant yet.
Not yet.
Heart, lung, liver, kidney. You only get 2 feet in your lifetime, so take care of them.
One of the things that made us kindred spirits in the fitness industry also when we met was our belief in the integrity of the feet. And she's going to tell us why. And I did a blog about the feet back in November that you may want to take a look at too, to reinforce what we're going to be doing today. Okay, all right.
So, I trained with the willpower method. I've probably been doing this for 7 years, daily working with my feet, and it has changed my life. I suffered from plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis. I was out of exercise for a full year based on the repetitive motions that I did, and being younger and thinking I could just keep going at the pace I was going and teach my classes, and something had to give. So I've been spending the last 7 years creating that strong foundation now, and I will never go back into that pain pattern again because
so many of you out there may suffer from some of those maladies that are really debilitating. They really affect your whole life and everything you want to do. So be sure you stay tuned and watch what Natalie's going to share.
So one of the key components that I talk about a lot is the more we work an area, the stronger it gets. The more we support an area, the weaker it gets. With our $100 athletic shoes, which I have, and our orthotics that might cost $300, $400, $500, which I have. However, I don't wear them anymore. I couldn't leave without them years ago, but I've strengthened my feet, creating that foundation from the ground up. So we're going to start with some sole training, some foot massage that we're going to do, and this is always great, a little luxurious with some lotion. I wouldn't recommend using lotion if you're going to do anything in your bare feet, say a yoga class or a willpower method class, anything where it would be too slippery. But if you're going to do your soul training before you get out of bed in the morning or at night on the couch, or you're going to do a class where you're going to have socks and athletic shoes on, then by all means it makes it a little more enjoyable.
It's amazing. Since Natalie taught me what to do, I have been doing it every morning, and I use some really nice lotion, and I add a little bit of essential oil, my favorite, to it that you can put on your skin. And it just invigorates, and it just changes everything.
Yeah.
I do it every morning as part of my morning regime.
And whether you want the invigorating oils in the morning or you want the calming oils in the evening when it's time to relax, the more time you can spend with your feet, the better. So,
that smells good.
yeah, to start out, we're just going to start at the top and work our way to the base of the foot. So with thumb and pointer on each side of the toe, you're gonna pinch and pull up. If a toe pops and cracks, that's not the goal that we're going for, but it's not bad. Cracking and popping is just air in the joint that we're releasing.
It's a good thing.
And you can pinch on the sides of each toe. You might find some tender spots, maybe not. And then take, I got a little too much. Take the toes and split them front to back, and we're gonna work our way from the thumb toe to the pinky. And you wanna go till you meet a little resistance, just to that edge of pain, but we don't wanna make it painful. We want to make it flexible.
So good.
Yes, make
Feels
it
so good.
flexible. So all we're doing with this massage is waking up the feet, increasing the circulation, getting them ready for the jobs that they have to do all day long. Over and over and over again. Think about it, especially if you're somebody with a Fitbit who needs to get 20,000 steps a day.
Right, that's a lot.
Then wide splits. So you're gonna separate the toes, and again, right to the edge of resistance or pain, and you can give them a little wiggle back and forth if you like as you go. And then skip around a toe. We wear shoes that cram our toes together all day long. Even if we're in athletic shoes that have a wide toe box, they don't have room to fan out. And the more space we can get between the toes, the wider base of support we have, which improves our balance. Then take the fingers and thread them between your toes.
I'll never forget the first time I tried this. I went,
Yes, and you
now
can
I
start
get all the way.
right at the tip of the toes, but you want to eventually work down to the base. And with lotion, this is easier. And then you're just going to hold on.
I can do it since
You
you
can.
taught me this.
Yeah, and just work back and forth. And you could also, if you had the time and you wanted, you could just sit with your fingers right here, creating that space between the toes. I like to use my Happy Feet socks,
There you go.
and it's like fingers between your toes, and I sit on the couch for 15 minutes. I've built up to a half an hour or so now, and you take these off and your feet are just completely fanned out. They're lovely. So happyfeet.com if you like those.
There we go. Okay,
Then-
another quick fit tip for you.
Yes. And as we're sitting here, so that you're not uncomfortable, you want to make sure you're engaging your core. You can always sit up against a wall if you need to support your back. Then take your thumbs, and with quite a bit of pressure, we're going to go back and forth across this transverse arch. That's the ball of your foot, your landing pad as you step out. We're just going to go back and forth in this rainbow type arc.
The structure of the foot is quite amazing, and Natalie in her classes teaches everyone also about 33 joints, 26 bones, you said, and
Hundreds of muscles and tendons and ligaments. A quarter of the bones in our body are in our feet.
That's quite amazing when you truly think about that, and sometimes our feet are the last things that people work on toward their health, and it's really one of the most important things to begin.
Then take your thumbs, and from the base of the transverse arch, up between each toe, you're going to run the thumbs up. If you find a spot that's particularly sensitive, you can give it a little extra attention. And then just splitting those metatarsals, thumbs running up.
Feels so good.
And you could spend as much time as you wanted with a foot, but just 2 minutes each foot will get the job done and improve the circulation. Take your knuckles and run them down this longitudinal arch. That's where the fascia is when you hear about plantar fasciitis. That's actually little tears that happen in the fascia of the feet, and then when you heal, you create some scar tissue. And then every time that scar tissue repetitively heals, you get then that chronic, ongoing ailment. And so by doing this, we keep the fascia flexible and pliable, and we can break up any old adhesions that might be in there.
Now, if this is an uncomfortable position, just find any position that works for you. You can sit in a chair and do this, on your couch, anywhere.
Lying on your back in bed with one leg up in the air.
Supported if you need to. Years ago, when I was teaching upwards to 25 fitness classes a week, I developed what's called Morton's neuroma. I wish I would have known about this technique to heal faster than what I healed. It took a while.
Yeah. Then take the fist and the flat part of the knuckles and just knock around the fleshy part of the heel, kind of that wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
So the skin is the largest organ in our body, and by manipulating the skin, we stimulate the central nervous system. Brain-body connection, getting the messages from the brain to the body quicker, and skin-to-skin contact is the best way to do that. We have so many receptors on the bottom of our feet that provide information and feedback. Take thumb and pointer at the base of the Achilles tendon right below the ankle bone, and we're just going to pinch and run our fingers up and down that Achilles tendon. And then at the base of that Achilles tendon, again, pinch, and nice big articulating circles. When somebody says roll your ankle, I see this a lot. Little things. Yeah, nice big circles. We want to unlock the ankle joint by moving it. And motion is lotion, so we create lubricants in the joints.
You want that synovial fluid to lubricate deep inside there.
So if we stretch out our feet so you can see, obviously this is afternoon and we've been on our feet and we've been working out. If you do this in the morning,
I do a lot of things barefoot.
The foot that I work should look rosier, pinker, plumper in this arch. The foot that I have not worked yet might seem a little bluer or gray, and maybe the arch is feeling a little retracted. So what we want to do then is make the other foot
you just
compatible.
Feel the circulation. It just is amazing how
The
wonderful
heat
this feels.
that comes up. So we're going to talk about as we do the second foot. And I think I have more of those. You do. I have plenty. I must have grabbed them. So as we do the second foot, I'm going to talk a little bit about reflexology points in the feet that correlate with our body systems, our organs. So as we take our fingers and pinch on the sides of the feet and pull up, you could even do a full fist on that big toe if you wanted. Here, the ends of each toe, the sinuses, the sides and different parts of the toe, eyes, ears, nose, thyroid, the neck is at the base of that big toe. So you might find some tender spots, and that's a good way to check in with your health. If you're repetitively having discomfort in one area, that might be something that you could investigate further and find out. Our feet can tell us a lot about what's going on in our body and our body systems. Okay, splits front to back, splitting those toes, and at first this is really challenging and it's not very comfortable at all, and then you just start craving it.
You do. When I miss it in the morning now, it's like, what did I forget? Oh, yeah, my feet, my feet.
Exactly. And then wide splits.
And what Natalie's talking about with the skin being our biggest organ and our feet having so many reflexology points to the rest of the body, we're talking about building our immune system. Huge. That's huge.
And after the wide splits, skip around a toe, create space. So we're going to improve our posture. We're going to improve our balance. We're going to improve our proprioception and spatial awareness by creating strong, flexible feet. Take the fingers and thread them between the toes, and you can either go from back to front, from the bottom of the foot towards the front, or some people prefer to go from the top of the foot in, just depending. And I have an issue with some arthritis and bone spurs in my big toe, so I just kind of leave that one out because it's lost its mobility. I still keep trying, I still keep working it. It just doesn't cooperate as well as
And
the
you'd never
other.
know it if you saw her teaching a class. You would never know that she has a toe issue.
You work with what you've got.
That's right, we all do. We just try to do the best we can.
Yes. Then thumbs back and forth across that transverse arch. Just working the way from the base of the toe down to the bottom of that landing pad. And then the thumbs run up from the bottom of the transverse arch up to the base of each toe, or even take them in between the toes as you work your way up.
One foot may feel different than the other. You'll be surprised.
Knuckles run down this longitudinal arch. If you're more flexible, you can get your elbow in there and provide a little bit more pressure once you get used to it, but the knuckles are just fine. And you can run them flat down. You could run them on an edge to get a little bit deeper, depending. And so I'm going to go back because I forgot to talk a little bit about the reflexology points here.
Okay.
Under the transverse arch, heart, lung, liver,
Right.
kidneys, thoracic organs. Right?
And then, of course, our digestive system, what we're looking at.
Right, as we're running down ascending colon, descending colon, transverse colon. So this is a great, especially if you travel a lot and you have elimination issues. This really helps. Or if you have children or grandchildren that are constipated, this is a great
There you go. Another quick fit tip.
another quick fit tip that you can do. Yeah. And then as we knock around the heel, reproductive organs, teenagers that have menstrual cramps, menopause.
Menopause! Let's talk about menopause.
So just stimulating the heel helps with some of those issues.
Wake up.
Exactly. Pointer and thumb up and down that Achilles tendon. And then pinch at the base of the Achilles and roll. So we spent a little more time because we were explaining, but really, truly, 2 minutes each foot is all it takes to increase that circulation. And then as we stick them out there, hopefully both are looking pink and circulated and ready
Happy
to go.
feet.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to move on to our footwork series, our
Okay.
strengthening exercises. So
Okay.
we're going to come to a standing position.
Yes, we are. And we are going to, because I want you to be able to see the feet, and especially the special trick that Natalie has learned that is amazing. We're going to be cut off a little bit, but we'll be talking and take a look at our feet, and join with us, please, for this segment of this also. Here we go.
All right. And I may reach down and grab your feet occasionally just to kind of demonstrate, but we're going to stand with our feet hip distance apart. You want your pelvis tucked and your core engaged. And then as we look down at our toes, make sure you're not caving your shoulders in and rounding your back, but you can just peek down and check in with your toes. So from here, just wiggle the toes a little bit. And we can rock inward and outward. And then we're going to rise up heels and toes.
I love how she could spread her toes.
Good. And then we'll just settle in on the four corners of the feet. And I'm going to sit down and stick one foot out to show you the four corners. So as we're standing, you want to have weight under your thumb toe and pinky on that transverse arch, and then on each side of your heel. Those are the four corners of your feet. And then if you think about the bottom of each toe, that's 5 more points. So with the four corners and the 5 toes, we've got a 9-point stance.
9 points.
9 points.
All right.
All right. So rock back and forth and then settle in on the four corners of your feet where you feel equal and even. You're not back into your heels. You're not forward. Settled in with that strong, stable base of support. What we're going to do here is we're going to just lift and lower our toes, staying on those four corners. You're going to want to rock back a little bit. Make sure you adjust your weight. And you want to engage the inner thighs and quads, which are going to help stabilize the ankles. So a little bit of tension in those strong upper leg muscles. Good. Fan out your toes and set them down. We're going to lift all 10 toes, fan them out wide, and set them down. And it does take practice. Lift, fan them out wide, and set them down. And if you have a couple of toes that tend to want to stay together, you could always bend over and say, hey, you guys, you're supposed to fan out too, and set them down.
Look at my big toe wants to stick to the
It
one
does.
that's
So then you can get in there and say, hey, you over here.
Yes.
We're training.
Open up,
Open up.
There we
Train
go.
them to go where you want them to go. Again, it's a mind-body connection, and at first it takes time for that signal to get down there, and that's why we do a lot of skin-to-skin contact to help that central nervous system go more quickly. All right. One more time. Lift, engage the upper thigh muscles, fan the toes out wide, and set them down. Lift all 10 toes up high.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Yes, eventually, we want the pinky toe to be able to get as high as the thumb toe. I have short, stubby little pinkies. Mine's not ever going to get as high, but I keep trying. And then on the foot that the big toe doesn't work as well as I'd like, I just imagine that it's up there.
There
I
you go.
keep working it. All right. Now, with our 10 toes up and the four corners of the feet stance, just tap the thumb toes down.
This
Put a
I've
little-
accomplished.
Yes, a little bit of pressure down, staying on the four corners, and pull it up high. Tap the thumb toe, pull it up high. The more you engage the upper leg muscles, the more mobility you can create. And you should be able to feel tendons, muscles, ligaments in your feet and around your ankles, your calves, really working. Hundreds of things working together to anchor us. Fan them all out and set them down. Okay, that's the first one to master. The next one's a little more challenging.
Definitely.
Yes, all 10 toes up. Then we're going to fan out and try and tap the pinky toes down and pull it up high. Now, if you can see, some people have real monkey feet, and that pinky toe can just reach out. Mine have a little bit of separation anxiety, and the other ones want to go right along for the
I
ride.
definitely have an anxiety going on, yes.
But that's okay.
Actually, the right foot, I can do it.
Oh, you can.
Look at that.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, we're just not getting there.
Oh!
Oh, you got the message. Good.
Okay, it's getting there.
All right.
Talk to that little pinky.
And then we're just going to confuse it all again, fan them out wide and set them down.
It's
All
amazing if you try this. The leg muscles. Oh, coming up here. The leg muscles that have to work and how the strengthening occurs there also. It's really wonderful.
Yes, so this is flexible strength that we're creating. We're creating the mobility in the toes, but all the stabilizer muscles that contribute to us being able to move our toes are really getting stressed. And when we stress an area, it builds. Remember I said the more we work an area, the stronger it gets.
Yes.
All right, all 10 toes up. Now we're going to tap both thumb toes down, pull them up high. Now both pinkies, pull them up high. We're working on our coordination. Thumb toes and pinkies.
Oh, my pinky thinks it's the second toe.
Both thumb toes, both pinkies, both thumb toes, both pinkies. Now, we're going to push both thumb toes down. Here's the pièce de résistance, the trick. Both thumb toes down, staying on the four corners of your feet. Fan out wide, push your pinky toes down, and pull the other three up high.
Okay, that is a real... This is like a circus trick.
It is, and I'm glad that my face is cut off because I was doing all these
I
contortions.
know. I'm using my hands and my face to... Okay.
And that is another thing, as we're doing something like this, thumb, toes, pinkies, if you use your hands fanned out, it helps with the coordination.
There you go.
So both thumb toes down, both pinky toes down, pull the other three up.
Oh,
and release and fan them out.
Struggling. They're trying so hard.
All 10 toes up. These are great exercises to do. We're going to do both thumb toes, ankles roll in, pinkies, ankles rock out. Now I want to work from the ankle joint. I don't want the knees to bow in and out. I still want to keep the engagement in the quads and inner thighs as I do the thumb toes, ankles roll in, pinkies rock out. And keep that going. And
There
then
you go, guys. A great exercise for pronation.
fan them all out and set them down. Think about the four corners of your feet, the 5 toes down, and I also want you to think about a suction cup under your arch. Especially, you mentioned pronation, especially for the pronators, suction cup under the arch, and we can build those foot core muscles, those internal muscles of the foot. And that's why I don't have to wear my orthotics anymore.
You hear that, guys?
Because I have strengthened these muscles under the arch to where now that's normal for me versus the flat foot and the pronation. All right. Let's go with gripping. We're going to grip the floor, pull the knuckles and the arches up, and then release, fanned out. Grip and release. We're doing it with both feet. Grip and release. Grip, release. One more time. Grip and release.
One trick, I actually did a video on overpronation, and doing this short foot action, you can take and put a towel underneath. So you really feel like you're accomplishing.
Yes, grabbing and pulling. If, say, this was a towel.
Yes, here, I've got one.
Grab the towel. I've got too much lotion.
Yeah,
and pull it
that's
to
the problem.
you.
It would
But you
grip.
could-
We're on
it
carpeting
would-
here, so.
It would grip and you'd grab. And just
And
that.
I would just start bunching up that towel without all this lotion on. And that really, really helps build that longitudinal arch.
And then we're just going to pump one foot up. We want to put pressure down on the transverse arch, pumping the blood up the legs, further increasing the circulation for whatever we're going to do next after we move on from
And
here.
let me tell you, in willpower, you do a lot next.
And so we're pulling the heel up high. We want to feel the stretch in the arch. We also want to have the mobility in the front of the ankle. Then we're going to hold up and then rock across thumb toe side to pinky toe side on that transverse arch. And again, you might feel some of those trigger point areas, the little more sensitive areas. Put pressure when you can, back off when you need to. And set that down. Other foot's going to pump up. What we do on one side, we always want to do on the other side.
And you can feel the difference after that particular back and forth, after you've warmed it up. And look, my foot's even gotten pinker as I did that particular.
Oh my goodness,
Look
yes.
at that. Look at how it woke it up and got the circulation going there.
Wow, that's amazing. Hold that up and then rock across. Heel pulled high, stretch, pressure down on that transverse arch, back and forth. And then fan them all out and set them down. All those exercises you could do while you're brushing your teeth, while you're doing dishes, while you're in the shower. Anything to help wake up and mobilize and strengthen all the
Sounds
muscles
wonderful.
of the feet.
Okay, so are we done with the standing?
We are done.
We are done with the standing. So we'll come back down so we can say goodbye to you and thank you, Natalie, for coming and sharing this fabulous information that is so important. Think about your feet. Think about the importance of the integrity and strength and how it, all the wonderful health benefits, immune system, leg strength, when the feet are in alignment properly with the ankles, the knees go into alignment. If they're not in alignment, the knees tend to fall in or out. And that affects the hip, that affects the shoulders, that affects the spine, the neck, everything.
So it's the foundation from the ground up.
Yes.
Start with your strong base.
Yes. And if you live in the Jackson Pioneer, Sutter Creek area, you want to check out Natalie's classes. She's a phenomenal instructor. Yesterday, she demonstrated, and she does this all the time. This is the first class I was able to go to. 5 levels. My gosh. And she was demonstrating that, and there were people with different fitness levels, and she's got a special magic eye, 2 eyes, that can watch what everybody's doing and make adjustments. It was quite phenomenal.
Some people will always be at level 1 or 2, and that's fine.
She starts with beginners and teaches them a beautiful base for what they can do next. So I invite you to check out her classes, and don't be afraid to come in and talk with her about those. And if you really liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and get all my fit tips. You don't want to miss these great fit tips that don't take a lot of time and can have such an amazing effect on your health, moving toward optimal health. Thanks for joining us.
All right, wishing you happy feet.
Bye-bye.